Hey there, I'm Shauna from the Yoga Center Winnipeg, and welcome to Yoga Snacks. Come to sit in a comfortable way. You could sit on a chair or you could sit on the floor. You might also want to sit up onto a blanket or a pillow or a foam block if you've got, so that your hips are a little bit higher than your shoulders if you're not in a chair. And just make yourself comfortable. We're going to take a few moments to get centered. And so as you do that, just kind of wiggle from side to side. Make sure that the height you're sitting on is high enough that feels comfortable for your shoulders to line up over your hips and your ears to line up over your shoulders. Awesome. And then take a few moments with your eyes closed or open, but to tune your attention inward. And notice what you feel. Feel maybe your breath. Sometimes you can feel your heart beating, maybe a little bit of a pulse. You might notice things like the throat being a little bit dry or gurgling in the stomach. Anything at all, and not judging what you feel, but just taking a little inventory. And then we're going to start to move slowly just by turning the head from side to side. And as you move, notice what you feel. Maybe notice the little sounds. Sometimes this neck makes some crackling sounds. And then next time that your head turns to look to your right, keep it looking to your right. Press up through the top of the head, let your shoulders relax away from your ears. And then let your eyes look as far back as they can see, and just notice what that's like. Then relax your eyes, look down kind of just in front of your shoulder and drop your chin. Take your right hand onto the back of the head and support the head, breathing into the back of the neck, adding just a little bit of support into the movement, not so much pressure. And then slowly lift your head, place your hand onto your lap, and slowly turn your head through center to look to the other side, to the left. And again, once you hit the maximum of your ability to turn, stop, and then let's see about taking your eyes a little bit further, and just notice what that's like. Okay, then relax the eyes and look just in front of the shoulder. Tuck your chin towards your chest, bring your left hand onto the head, allowing the back of the neck to open. And then release your hand, inhale, bring your head back to center, and then let's take the hands to support the back of the head. So anywhere you want, let your elbows open, look up, and as you exhale, tuck your elbows in and around your spine. And we'll do a few of those, just opening through the chest and through the shoulders as you look up. And as you exhale, curving your spine, tucking in. 2 or 3 more. Excellent. And then come to neutral. And from that neutral place, put your right hand down to the floor and keep your left hand on your head. Support your head a little bit, looking up towards your elbow, and lift through your elbow. Then inhale and come up. And as you come up, you can turn yourself to the right. You can support with your right hand on the floor if that's available, or hold the chair in some way if you're on a chair, or even wrap your hand around the back. And as you turn your body, start to turn your head second last, then start to turn your eyes. Relax your eyes, unturn your head, and then unturn your torso. Before we go to the other side, and let's hope I remember to do the other side, let's pick your right leg up, turn the right knee and foot to face forward, and then as you inhale, straighten the leg, and as you exhale, bend. And just straighten and bend the leg a few times. Next time the leg is straight, you can circle the foot. Go in both directions. Give a little wave with the foot. And then let's just put the foot down. And now we'll switch. If you're sitting cross-legged, then just switch so the other leg's in front. And then here, what's going to happen? As you go to the left, place your left hand onto the floor, take your right arm up, and then bend your right elbow and hold the left side of the head. Lifting up through the elbow, open through your side, waist, through your ribs. Breathe and feel, maybe looking up. And then inhale, come all the way up. Twist to your left, start by twisting the body, and then let your head come into the twist, and then your eyes. Then inhale, unwind from the twist, eyes, head, and the body. And then pick up your left leg, and let's straighten and bend. Let's get some circulation into the leg. Okay, and then circle your ankle, wiggle your toes. Great. And then put the feet down and just take a moment with your hands on your shins. So again, if you're in a chair, we're kind of repeating the same thing we did before, but this time you're curling back into the rounded back. And then inhale, sitting up. And a few more times, just rounding the back. Inhale, sitting up. Rounding. And sitting up. Right. And then prepare to stand up. And see if you're on the floor, see if you can have your knees bent, your feet wide apart, lean forward and stand up. So it seems like a little thing, but some of us have lost the ability to stand up without using our hands. And on the one hand, you want to use your hands, keep yourself safe. On the other hand, there's some core muscles involved in the sitting up. So actually, let's try it again. So you can do this from the chair. It's equally excellent, but if you're on the floor, you can just sit down on your support, take your feet a little bit wide, lean forward, stand up. Woohoo! And then now that you're up, shake it all up. Okay. And then I want to work a little bit with balance today. So it might be helpful to have a chair or something. I'm going to bring my special chair in here just so it's available. You can always just put your hand on the chair if you're feeling unstable, or if you're close to a wall, that's fine. Otherwise, let's just start both feet on the floor and finding balance in Tadasana. So picking up the toes, spreading them, placing them down, and then you could even rock forward a little bit and rock back. And so you're just rocking back and forth on your feet. Shift a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. So also finding what feels like center. Okay. And then position your feet so it feels like the weight is balanced evenly into your left foot and the right foot. Try to go for hip distance using your hip bones as your guide. So we often use our outer hips, but try using your hip bones. And then stand balanced on these 2 feet. Draw down through the tailbone, lift up through the crown. And as you inhale, slowly take both arms up. Reach up. Just feel standing here, notice what it's like. And you might be thinking, well, it's not very hard to balance on 2 feet, Shauna. But now close your eyes and see what happens. And you might notice that your body sways and shifts. You might feel as steady as you did before, but if not, just notice. And then open your eyes again. Take your arms down. This time let's shift the weight over to the left foot. Come onto the toes of the right foot. Bring your hands onto your hips. Eyes steady. Remember, you've got a chair there if you need. And then think of drawing down through the back of the hips. So the tailbone, the sitting bones, they draw down. Sometimes it even helps to flex your palms a little bit as you lift your leg. And if you feel steady, lift your leg a little higher. You can keep the foot flexed, maybe your hands to your hips or arms up into the cactus shape. And feel where you feel steady, but also where you feel wobbly. And just practice being okay with that instability. Balance is not just something that we do, but it's a process. And so learning to just let your body find its balance will help us when we're walking, when we're standing, all sorts of things. So step your foot down, close your eyes for a moment, just feel inward. Okay, second side. So just make sure your mat's not all rumply like mine. And then spread the toes of your right foot. Use a chair for balance if you need. Otherwise, again, we're going to bring the pelvis into a neutral position. Going to hug the quadricep muscle of the standing leg. Maybe flex your palms to help draw the shoulders down, and then lift your left leg slowly. A nice addition to balancing is smiling. Hands could be on the hips or arms can be up. Also, keeping your gaze steady and your mind focused will help with balance. Super. And then put your foot down. Just stand and take a breath. From here, actually, if you have a chair for support, you could turn it, put your hands on the chair, and then walk your feet back so you get what is like a supported downward dog. The hands are on the chair, but you're stretching the 2 sides of the body. Alternatively, you could come right down and come into a downward dog where you're balanced on your left hand and your right hand, your left foot and your right foot. Whichever pose you're in, you can step your feet forward, look up, bring your hands to your hips, inhale, come all the way up. Okay, so let's do some more balancing, but before we do, I'm going to show a little sequence. So the sequence is going to be stand facing the chair. As you inhale, you're in the Tadasana, you sweep your arms up and look up. As you exhale, fold from the hips and either bring your hands down to the floor or your hands to your chair or your support. If you're going to the floor, you're going to walk your feet back and step into downward dog. And so heels don't need to touch, but the feet are back of your hips. The weight's balanced between your hands. Feet can be wide apart and you're getting a stretch along the sides of the waist, outer hips down through the legs. On the other hand, if you can't do that, you've got your hands on your chair, you're walking your feet back, heels just a little further than your knees. So from either place, we're going to walk forward, look up, either hands on shins or hands on the chair. And then inhale, sweep the arms, come all the way up. Exhale, glide the hands down to the heart. Okay, so we're going to put one of those in between our balancing. So the next pose we're going to do for balance is tree pose. So left foot is forward, right foot, you can turn the toes out, rest on your foot. Or spread the left toes, line the left hip over the left heel, and bring your right hip anywhere along your right leg that feels steady. Firm the leg towards the foot towards the leg. Hands can come to the heart. You can always have your hand on a chair or a wall. And if you feel steady, extend your arms, straighten through the elbows, extend through the fingertips. Use that reaching to help lengthen your spine, to actually help keep the balance. When it's time to come down, bring your hands down, step your right foot, pause. Let's go to the second side. Toes of the right foot are spread, hip is over the heel, looking forward, or looking at a point in front of you. It could be on the floor or on the wall. Other leg comes up. Think of foot pressing against leg, leg pressing against foot to kind of bring all the energy towards the midline. And then if you like, take your arms up. Remember, you can keep your hands on your hips or at your heart. Extended, smiling. Sometimes it's windy. That's okay. Then you just kind of wobble, but stay steady. Practice balancing. Let your body adapt to the changing circumstances. Great. And then we'll step down. Hands can come to the heart. And then you can turn to face your chair or the short end of the mat. As you inhale, sweep your arms, come up. As you exhale, fold hands to the chair or to the floor. Inhale, look up. Hands could even come to shins. Exhale, hands either stay on the chair or you step the legs back and come all the way back into the downward facing dog. Toes pointing straight ahead, heels maybe slightly out, arms and legs straight. And then from wherever you are, step or walk your feet forward. Hands on shins or hands on chair. Make the legs strong by pressing into the feet. Maybe hug the thigh muscles to the bone. And then inhale, sweep your arms, come up with strong legs. Exhale, hands to the heart. Okay. I think we're going to try one more balancing one. So this one can be a little bit challenging. But I feel like we can do it. One little trick to do is if you've got a block or a book, you can have it handy for your foot. Stand with your left foot kind of behind the block, and you can step your right leg over like so. Or you can wrap your right leg all the way around. So I like to bend the left leg, wrap the right leg around. Remember, you can rest it on the foot, or you can tuck the foot against the shin. Start to sit down like you're sitting in a chair, and then give yourself a great big hug. The hands can come and wrap to hold one another, or you can stay with the hug. Coming into the pose called Eagle or Garudasana. Eyes steady, quite a good hip opener. And then inhale, stand up, both feet onto the ground, feel your breath. Okay, second side, taking the weight into the right foot. You can start with your leg straight. I like to start with my knee bent. Oh yeah, if you're using your block, move it to the other side. Wrap your left leg around, toes can rest on the block, or foot can even wrap around the other shin, but for me, I just hug the two legs towards one another. I can't really wrap today. So you go low, and then this time you're hugging yourself with the other arm on top. If you don't remember, that's okay, and you can switch the arms to be hands holding one another with the arms entwined. Eyes steady, bending into the hips. Sometimes it's windy. Great. And then step down, stand, and breathe for a little bit. Okay. And then for the last time, you're going to turn to face this chair or the short end of the mat. Inhale, sweep. Reach up, exhale, fold, hands to the chair or the ground. Inhale, look up, and exhale, step back. Come to downward dog or chair dog. Fingers are spread, hands pressing the mat forward, outer hips lift. Okay, and then from here, come down to your hands and your knees, and then let's sit right back onto your heels and rest in what's called child pose. If you have a block or a book handy, you could rest your head onto the block or the book. If you can't bend your knees like this, you can sit onto the chair and fold forward over your legs. Take a few breaths here, feeling your breath, maybe your heartbeat, whatever other sensations you feel. Okay, and then slowly inhale and come up. So let's sit similar to the way we started. So I started in a pose called Sukhasana. The legs were crossed. This time I'm going to face the short end of the mat, sit up onto a blanket, and take this right leg, turn it up again, and tuck my left foot in so it comes close to my hip. Bend the knee deeply. Lift up through the top of the head. Breathe and feel. And then exhale and turn to the right. And maybe hug the leg with the hand or just hold the leg with the hand. And like before, turn the torso first. So mostly the rib cage. Then the head. Let this shoulder move away from the ear. And then let your eyes come into it. And then inhale and untwist. Move your right leg forward. Tuck your right heel in front of your left hip, and then bring your left in close, leg in close. Sitting up tall, reaching through the top of the head. Shoulders relaxed. Exhale, begin to turn the torso, mostly the rib cage. Hold the leg, then turn the head. Last but not least, turn the eyes. Then inhale. Slowly release the eyes, then the head, then the whole torso. And straighten both legs. So sitting on this support, bring your belt if you have one. You can use a bathrobe tie. I guess you could use a tie or a scarf as well. Around your feet helps to keep your balance. So I'm sitting up onto a support, and why that helps is so that I'm not curving back and straining my back muscles. So I'm a little bit tilted up. Going to hold the belt, let the shoulders relax away from the ears. I like to wrap the belt mount in my hand, but if you do it this way, you can practice your grip strength. And then as you exhale, you can start to go forward slowly. And let your hip move forward, let your spine. So front hips come forward, sitting bones move back. Spine stays pretty long. Take a few breaths. Remember not to overstretch or strain. Not about getting anywhere, more about taking a shape and paying attention. Okay, and then slowly inhale to sit up. Put your belt out of the way. Use your hands to support you to lie down onto your back. With your head resting on the floor, just before you come into relaxation mode, you might bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees open. This pose is called Supta Baddha Konasana. If you've got things like blocks or pillows handy, you can tuck them under your knees. This is a nice way to rest before your Shavasana. Sometimes releases your back a little bit. Okay, and the knees up. And let's just, if you've got blocks or pillows handy, you can tuck them under your thighs. And that just supports your legs a little bit, helps your back muscles relax. I've got them on a little bit of an angle. My palms are turned to face up. And then as you come into resting mode, remember that you could always stay here, rest a little bit longer. Otherwise, you're just going to follow your breath. Allow the whole body to rest and relax. Absolutely nothing left to do. As I say, you're welcome to stay here, resting 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even longer. When it's time for you to come out, you just simply roll to your side and sit up. It's always nice to finish the practice with just an acknowledgement of the benefits of the practice. I like to bring my hands together at the heart, but you can always sit with your hands on your lap. Just connect to whatever you're grateful for. Thanks for joining in. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.